We have Mr. Aman Gupta, the co-founder and CMO of Boat. Can we have a round of applause for the gentleman, please, as we like to welcome him on stage. Kindly join us, sir. And of course, we'd like to welcome our one and only Ritu Maria, the editor-in-chief, entrepreneur and Indian retailer. Can we have a round of applause for the lady, please? I'm sure this is going to be a fireside chat. So we'd like to first request Mr. Aman Gupta to unveil the Entrepreneur Magazine cover page for this edition for the month of May. Can we have a round of applause for the first look? If you all like it, I think you all should give a louder applause. Come on, everybody, let's hear it. Can we have a pen to autograph? Thank you so much. Kindly request both of you to make yourself comfortable, and I request Ritu Maria to take over. Thank you.
A very good evening, and I think the applause was not enough, and we're talking Aman Gupta here, so you need to do this. So, I met Aman back in, I think, 2015. When he was just, I think, about to start, and at that time he was probably one of the very, very early movers in the D2C industry. And today we have the first IPO coming for the D2C industry. So, he's a rock star of the D2C industry. And I think all of us were gathered here for this D2C conference. And probably, there are always early movers to the industry, and he's one of them. So, guys, give it out to him. So, Aman, Boat is a great example of a D2C brand. I mean, and you're a chartered accountant by profession. So how did Boat happen for you? And, did you really think at that point of time to where you are today? Could you visualize this?
No. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for calling me. Yeah, Ritu. So, when we started, as you rightly said, we were a D2C brand. I always say कि there was no word as D2C at that time. हमारे ना Delhi में DTC करके buses होती थी. So that is the only thing which was DTC at that time, and now that has been converted into D2C. So when we were born, we were called very different names. Some people used to call us online brands. Some used to call us that, Amazon focused brands. So VCs or people, they never thought that D2C as an industry can also be that big. And yeah, we were one of the first starters, and whether it was Wow guys or us or Vadam. So there were a few of us at that time. But yeah, the industry has grown and it's still growing. So we're happy to be one of the first guys. But now, look at this panel. And I remember when we used to do the panels earlier, they were mostly tech, or they were fintech, health tech. That used to be the focus. But now you look, and when I used to go to the investors also, they never used to look at us seriously. But now D2C, though, every investor has to have it, right? They have those FOMOs also, that how can they not have a D2C brand in their portfolio. So, cheers to all of us, man. D2C is here to stay.
I think thanks to your early efforts, now this is a complete industry, and everybody is now, and I see it expanding every year. So kudos to the effort that you made. So when you sort of COVID struck, and there were no imports, exports that were happening. So how did you decide? What pivots did you make at that point of time, particularly from a Make in India perspective? What changes did you think were required, and particularly manufacturing in India? So, if you can talk about it.
So, we were not, we never made anything in India initially. We were importing everything out of, one country. And there was nothing that India was doing. In fact, the ones who were making in India were going down. There were some people who were manufacturing in India, and all of them did not survive, right? Okay. India manufacturing was zero, at least in electronics. So there was, we are not, I would say we were not idiots that we would start manufacturing first. It is a tough industry. I don't know manufacturing. I don't know how to manage labor. I don't know how to manage labor laws. I don't know. It's tough to do that. And if you look at all these shampoo guys also, they were, it's because of the Unilevers of this world. And there are a few factories which are anyways making for levers and Colgates. So it was very easy for them to go to Indian manufacturers, just do the thappabazi and get it here. It was tough for us because in India there was nobody making. But the same thing was happening in China, China was the manufacturing capital of the world. So we also went there. It was easy. They were making for the world. The pricing was there. The scale was there for them. So we went there first. And to answer your question, COVID was an eye-opener for us because everything was, and not only for us. I remember our Honorable Prime Minister saying that we were not even making, those... वो जो होता था ना कोविड के लिए पहनते थे वो that PPE kits and shields, they were also not being made in India. So we all realized that India was not making, right? And we also realized that, boss, we can't be too dependent on only a few countries. So we went to Vietnam first, that was the closest. Then we went to another country, Taiwan. We thought we'll do manufacturing there, but it's not easy, So then we thought we'll do manufacturing in India. So we've done a joint venture with a company called Dixon Technologies, which is a public listed companies. And I personally feel jo jiska kaam wo usi ko bhai, right? People who understand Hindi. So it's just that they know how to do manufacturing. We know how to sell. We know how to give the designs. We know, Qualcomm is an investor in our company. We brought them just to help us make in India. And all these guys, the ecosystem is now getting developed. And we can also, there's a famous line I say that we can also do it. In Hindi it means that hum bhi bana lenge, right? So agar China bana sakta, koi bana sakta, hum bhi bana sakte hain India mein. So it is a tough thing. There is no other brand which is making in India for now. They are all doing contract manufacturing from others. We'll be the first ones putting our own money in a factory. And it's a difficult journey, but as the government is also supporting making in India, and there are consumers who want to buy make in India now. Earlier it was, India में ना पहले मैं कहता था कि Indians को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता था, कोई कहीं से भी ले लेते थे, अभी भी ले लेते हैं बहुत सारे. But there is some sort of patriotism. There is something which has started to happen in India also, that they like Indian brands. So we were a brand made in India, but our product was not made in India. But now our brand was made in India, and soon our products will also be fully made in India. We have committed to the government, we committed to ourselves, we've committed to the consumers.
That's a great commitment, not just to your brand, but to the country also.
Yeah, so some of the categories like cables, chargers, the ecosystem, everybody expects, if I put it on LinkedIn, everybody says, कि यार चाइना में बनता है तुम्हारा माल. हाँ यार बनता है, जिस फ़ोन से तुम ये टाइप कर रहे हो वो भी वहीं बनता है, right? और हमारा क्या है कि everybody expects us to make in India from day zero, right? I always say that Rome was not built in a day, right? India will not make in a day. India will take its time to make. Give us time, we will do it, but it will not happen like कि कल से मेरे को इंडिया में ही चाहिए. But ले लो, अगर किसी को ऐसा चाहिए तो लेके देख लो, कुछ मिल ही नहीं रहा.
And now more recently you've also made an extension in wearables. In fact, you were yourself sort of thinking that it might actually become a much bigger category than boat audio for you. So, how did this sort of new journey for you start in wearables category?
So wearables, if you look at the global definition, wearables means what? It's like you wear it. Our headphones are worn on our head or in your neck, or a smartwatch is worn on your wrist. So it's a very related category, and there were not many players here. There was only a couple of people who were fighting the race. He was, ये वो आपने पिक्चर देखी गुड्डी, हाँ गुड्डी में वो कहता है मैं फर्स्ट आई, फिर वो कहता है अच्छा कितने लोग भाग रहे थे, वो कहते मैं अकेले भाग रही थी. तो अगर कोई अकेले भागेगा फर्स्ट आएगा तो वो आएगा ही ना. It's now that the competition has come in. There were only one or two brands who were playing there. There were only global brands who were fighting it, and that's what happened in audio. They were not Indian brands, were not making a mark there. So, but now wearables is becoming a bigger category than even audio for us, because the number of analog watches sold in the country is huge, and it's getting into health tech, it's getting into technology. We've invested in a company called Kaha, We invest in 400 crores in that company, and that is only doing health tech and wearable tech. So why not?
And do you plan to extend in other categories also, other than nuns?
I will, yeah, but I'm not saying it. I can see some of my competitors sitting, so I don't know.
So you're also investing a lot in D2C startups yourself. And so, one, we would like to know more about you as an investor, though we've seen lots of shades of it at Shark Tank. But now, of course, now that you are looking to invest in multiple brands in D2C for yourself, so what is it that you now look for in a D2C brand? Because obviously this market, the industry is becoming bigger. There's a lot of competition that is increasing. So how are you evaluating startups in D2C today?
So some of my startups are here. We were just talking, Skippy is here, Banana Chips is here. We've got Ridhima here from Namya. So we, for me, it is when I started, Kaval was here in the morning. I was supposed to take that session at that time. When I wrote to Kaval, I said that I want a shark in my life, right? Because it is not about investments. We are a profitable brand. We don't lose money. We earn money, right? So we wanted somebody who can help us grow to the next level. It's just about mentorship. For some people want money just to survive also, right? There are a lot of startups who need money just to survive the next few months. For us, it was not that. For us, it was mostly to help us grow. So, unfortunately in India, it's a fad right now. Startups should be, I was telling these guys also, startups should be celebrated. Funding should not be celebrated. But unfortunately, if anybody gets funded, no, everybody says congratulations, congratulations. Somebody else also said that you should actually not say congratulations. I normally now don't congratulate anybody who gets funding, because, you get into that rat race. You've got one investor, then you have to fulfill obligations to him, then you have another investor. If you have to survive, sometimes, there are different industries you take investments from. But for me, it's about mentorship. I look, if you ask me the question of how I invest, I look at you've seen Shark Tank. Some of these investments I did only because of the person. It's because of the passion, right? So it is not about, if that person is good, if he knows his shit, if he knows his stuff, if he knows how to crack, if he has it in him, he will crack it in, whether it's in this industry or some other industry. So somebody took a bet on us, and we've given him crazy returns, and Kaval. So same way, if we can, it's not about returns, it's also about helping the industry, the ecosystem. It's giving it back to the society, it's giving it back to the entrepreneurs, and it helps us develop the ecosystem very well. So for me, investment is all about helping founders and ensuring that they get I did not have a mentor when I started. I was very lost. I did a lot of mistakes in my journey, and had I had a mentor at that time, I wouldn't have made those mistakes. So I feel that these guys, if they get a mentor like me, because I've seen it, I've grown it. If I can help them somewhere, then it's good for them also. And it's some people like to do charity, right? You all the guys who make a lot of money, they do a lot of charities, right? In India less, but US and all more, right? So I don't do charities. I don't understand charity. My wife does it on my behalf. So for me, it's giving back to the society this way. It's giving back. My time is my charity. My money to these young startups is my way of giving back to the world.
No, I think what a noble thought this is. If you can actually empower more people, and they then further empower more people, it's the world becomes a much, much better place. But also, just to take your views on this, now today you're right that there's so many startups and they all want to raise funding, but in case they are not able to do it, do you think for them acquisition, and particularly in the D2C industry, is a good route? And I mean, when is the right time to say that, it's okay, I'll be acquired? They could have lived a bigger trajectory as a brand themselves.
Yeah. No, so it depends on individual, I would say. Some people like to run a company for life, right? वो पिक्चर देखिए, गुरु पिक्चर देखी है, उसमें बोलता है कि बनना चाहते हो देश की सबसे बड़ी कंपनी, फिर वो कहता है नहीं, आप बनना चाहते हो दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी कंपनी, राइट? वो उसकी एम्बिशन थी that they want to do it. Now you see how the top corporates in the world are fighting to become the next big thing. In India there is a big rat race happening on house of brands, right? Everybody in the cosmetic space is either acquiring or becoming one or getting acquired. So it's a good time to be in this industry. I think it's the best time to start a brand. I don't know how many of you guys have a brand, but if not, then just start a brand right now. It's, either you'll get funded or you'll get bought if you've done well, or you'll learn a lot by going through that process of starting a brand. So it's the best time to start a brand is now. There might be some, because of the global factors, there might be some time when the funding might come in or might not come in. But India's just started. So and secondly, it depends on one person, right? If I got an offer when I was getting last year, when I was going through Warburg round, I got an offer for acquisition, and I did not go for it because I knew that I could build it up, right? And my co-founder Samir, he stopped me. He said कि यार अभी क्या कर रहा है इतने, अभी तो और let's build it up more. I was little tinting towards that कि यार पैसे मिल रहे हैं इतने अच्छे, इतने तो इससे ज़्यादा ज़िंदगी में इंटरेस्ट ही बहुत अच्छा आ जाएगा यार लाइफ में, मतलब तो वो करते हैं तो कहता है नहीं let's build up more, and that helped, right? We diluted last year at 2,000 crores, but now we are going through an IPO, so I can't talk about valuations and numbers, but we are doing well for ourselves, and the value we've created for all of us is much more. And there is huge room to grow further. We can still get, if you ask me today, there was a time when I was after investors to give me funding, and nobody gave me. I was telling these guys also, nobody gave me. एक ना electronic brand होता था telecom में, नाम नहीं ले सकता क्योंकि recording हो रही है, तो मेरे तो छपा हुआ था कि तेरा बाप वो कि you will die the same way. So our death story was written before we were born, that I will die the same way. But unfortunately, for those investors who did not invest in us, and now they are after us to take any pie of our. But now the best way is when these investors who rejected us, who come to us now and we say, you missed the boat.
Yeah. And what happiness one internally gets in saying it, right?
तो अंदर से उसमें जो मजा है ना उस किसी चीज में नहीं. It's ego massage, it's happiness, it's like validation. It's like, because investors get that God syndrome, that they know everything, right? उनके पास जाओ ना, कोई investor तो नहीं है ना यार. तो इन्वेस्टर्स को ना वो गॉड सिंड्रोम आ जाता है कि मेरे से अच्छा भगवान कोई नहीं है, मैं सीट पे बैठा हूँ, और वो क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, व्हाट गॉट यू हियर, हाउ विल यू गो टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल, विल इट टेक यू टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल, एंड व्हाट अबाउट कंपटीशन. उनका काम है एनालिसिस पैरालिसिस करना, दैट्स व्हाट दे आर सपोज्ड टू डू, एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी डू व्हेन वी सिट इन द शार्क टैंक, राइट? सो इन्वेस्टर्स का काम है, क्योंकि दे आल्सो हैव फिड्यूशियरी ड्यूटी टुवर्ड्स दैट, एंड यू कैन लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम दीज इन्वेस्टर्स, राइट? बिकॉज दोस क्वेश्चंस हेल्प अस understand the next, that what are the mistakes maybe others did. But मज़ा तो आता है जब ये लोग आते हैं. और अब ये LPs बन के जब हमारे पास आते हैं ना कि आपने अब पैसे कमा लिए, हमारे इन फंड में डालो, तो मेरे को वो क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा लगता है, what got you here, will it get you there?
So, you're right. And so today, of course, as a startup becomes much, much bigger, and, from where you started to where you are, now corporate governance becomes so very difficult. And, then obviously the R&D that you started with, you don't get much time left with it. So, when is it the right time to get a professional team on board and, step back a little, delegate more? How would you advise startups on that?
So I think I would divide it in two parts. One is corporate governance and the other is leadership, management. When do you think, so when do you think when it's the time to have corporates run your company? So corporate governance is something which we should not let go of, right? There are a lot of cases nowadays happening where corporate governance was not there in the companies, and the founders also were asked to leave. It's you cannot have ethics is something. हमारी इंडस्ट्री में ना बहुत होता था, अंडर इन्वॉइसिंग करके होता था. चाइना से ना जब लोग लाते थे इंपोर्ट करके तो 40% ड्यूटी होती थी, तो बहुत लोग ना अंडर इन्वॉइस करके लाते थे, राइट? आज नहीं तो कल आप, मतलब जैसे मेरे को ना, आई लव टू स्लीप, मतलब with my own wife, but I love to sleep. So for 8 hours to 10 hours, I need my sleep. So if you can't sleep properly for the whole night, you're worried about whether the shipment will get caught. You're worried about the DRI raid. You're worried about the next shipment. transferred cash, you've taken out cash, you're going to China and wherever in US or whatever and giving cash and getting under invoicing. I never did that, never.
Yeah.
You know, I am so scared of the regulators. I get shivers also sometimes कि भाई regulator से मुझे बहुत डर लगता है, सच में लगता है कि कि कोई रेड हो रही है, क्योंकि एक ना हम लोग मिडिल क्लास लोग हैं, हमारे घर पे ना एक वो आदत होती है ना कि घर पे पुलिस नहीं आनी चाहिए, एक बचपन में सिखाया गया है कि अरे वो नेबर्स को पता लग जाता है, एंड देन दे स्टार्ट। सो मेरे को शुरू से बहुत डर लगता है ये अथॉरिटीज से। तो मैं कोई घपला नहीं, मतलब हम लोग कोई घपला नहीं करते, पर एक और हम ज़्यादा एडवांस टैक्स दे देते हैं, फिर हमें रिफंड आता है, चाहे पैसा।
That's the CA you talking. मैंने कहा ये तो CA वाली बात कर रही है
अब हमारे खून में CA है, तो CA वाली बात करेंगे ना, तो हमें डर लगता है। सो कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस इज एथिक्स विच यू शुड नॉट लूज एनी टाइम, एंड इन्वेस्टर्स आर वेरी स्मार्ट, राइट? इवन इफ दे नो you've done a fraud, they'll keep quiet until that day comes when they can tell the world that, oh, you did this, we caught you. They will know about your issues in your company, and they will not talk about it until they want to remove you, right? They will then plan it out. So investors are gods, smart people, I would say, but even authorities are, right? Look at what is happening to some of these mobile companies and how they're they're running around here and there. So I would I would tell anybody to always, whether you take investment, don't take investment in the future, please don't do any hanky-panky fraud, income tax, and there is so much happening. Don't do that. Second part of your question was about having a structured team and a corporate to run it. And so I don't like running companies. I loved the company from 0 to 100. It was outstanding. I used to work out of social, like in Hoskas Village. And they were like a team of young guys, mad guys, working hard and hustling their way through. And I built, I used to love doing branding. I don't like finance, being a chartered accountant also. And Sameer loves it, so he does it. He loves operations, he's doing that. I don't like, if I don't like it, I don't do it, unfortunately. So for me, it was more about loving what I love doing. And now the company has to grow. You cannot not let the company grow. And you can't be on, there are a lot of friends of mine who love running companies. And they are good because it's, they love it. I don't, right? They like some things I don't. It's 5 उँगलियां अलग होती हैं, right? So for them, the joy of running a big company is different from the joy which I get on hustling. I don't want to run a very big company because HR processes संभालो, admin संभालो। मतलब मेरे तो ऐसी टीम थी कि हमने उनको बोला कि ये पॉश पॉलिसी है, इसको साइन करो, तो कहते हैं सर हमारे पास तो पैसे भी नहीं, हम पॉश है भी नहीं, इसको कैसे साइन करें? सो पीपल डोंट नो. So I worked with a very small team, young team, and they are all, we gave them ESOPs. They are all, they were all 25-year-olds. We loved doing what we were doing. And I don't love running companies. I don't love organization stuff. I hate HR. I hate admin. I hate finance. I hate logistics. So it's better for somebody who can do it. So Sameer has taken over the role of a product head. I am the marketing head. And Vivek we've hired as the CEO. Right. And he has run Godrej. He was the partner at Bain. He's a Harvard graduate. He knows how to run big organizations. और मुझे नहीं सीखना उसका, he knows it better than me. So why do I waste time in learning what he's doing rather than I do something which I love doing? Yeah. So I have, so that's about me.
And it really takes a lot of a very organized mind to honestly plan it that way. There is always so much intrinsic love we have for our own brands. हमें लगता है ना कि हमसे अच्छा कोई नहीं कर सकता. So I
think
ये
तो वो बच्चों की शादी की तरह हो गया कि अपने बच्चों से प्यार तो सबको होता है. I love boat, right? It's my baby. Right? I will never not love boat, but the baby has to grow up, and if there is somebody else who can handle the baby better, whether it's the teacher in a school or it's the partner after a marriage, or the baby itself starts saying that I'm now grown up, let me handle my life my way. So you have to give way. You cannot let you spoil the growth. And since we've kept Vivek, I have got very senior management who's joined the company only because Vivek is there.
Right.
वो कहेंगे क्या ये अमन और समीर के साथ में काम कर सकते हैं, but they love Vivek, right? Because he's got a reputation. He knows how to organize, how to run a organized company, and he's helped them bring in a lot of processes in the company, which are helping the company, and that is why investors are now looking at the company from a different lens than what they were looking at here. So it's win-win for, I think, everyone.
No, I think that's great. We're happy to take some questions from the audience, but yeah, okay, if you can please quickly pass on the mic and one question to each, please, just to accommodate more questions.
दो कोई पूछता है मुझे याद भी नहीं रहता पहला हाँ तो दो एक ही ठीक.
Hello, Aman. My name is Vaibhav Raghuvanshi, and I'm the founder of Himalayan Organics. It's a plant-based dietary supplement brand. So the question is, like for a D2C brand like ours, like the dependency of marketplace, how much is it relevant? Like should we focus more on the website or the marketplaces are fine?
Interesting question. Now this is again when we were born, no, D2C in India is not like US. D2C India में is not Amazon is not a bad company. Flipkart, Myntra, Nike are not bad. US में क्या है ना, you have only one competitor or one person in marketplace, which is Amazon. So they rule the market. इंडिया में क्या है ना, हमारे यहाँ पे ना तानाशाही किसी की नहीं चलती. सुना ना वो बचपन में बोलते थे. तो हमारे यहाँ पे फ्लिपकार्ट भी अच्छा है, अमेज़ॉन भी अच्छा, हम किसी एक को आगे नहीं बढ़ने देंगे, हम सबके साथ चलेंगे. नायका भी अच्छा काम कर रहा है, मिंत्रा भी अच्छा कर रहा है, और अभी ये बहुत सारे नए पर्पल और नए सारे बहुत सारे छोटे मार्केट प्लेसेस भी आ गए हैं विच आर ऑल्सो डूइंग वेल. सो इन इंडिया डू वॉट फ्लोट्स योर बोट, राइट? इट्स अ टैग लाइन विच वी हैव ऑल्सो. बट जहाँ सेल आ रही है वहाँ से लो ना यार. मतलब मेरे साथ क्या था, हम लोग तो वी वर बॉर्न ऑन फ्लिपकार्ट एंड अमेजॉन. वी वर नॉट बॉर्न ऑन आवर ओन वेबसाइट बिकॉज again, I didn't know how to run a D2C brand. I knew how to run so D2C in India, the definition is direct to consumer. Whether you go it through your own website or through channels is the same thing, marketplaces. So if you're getting sales out of marketplaces, then you're not handling your customer acquisition because they are doing that for you. Then you're not wasting your time in developing your websites because they are doing that for you. Shopify, ये बहुत integration होती है. पेमेंट गेटवेज डालो और फिर उसकी लॉजिस्टिक्स देखो, फिर उसमें भी रन करो, कुकीज़ चलाओ, ऐड चलाओ. अगर मैंने क्या किया था, मेरे पास तो पैसे भी नहीं थे, क्योंकि अब क्या होता है D2C चलाने में ना कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन इतनी ज़्यादा है. अगर आप शैम्पू कीवर्ड ढूंढने जाओगे ना ऑनलाइन, तो अगर आप कहीं पे शैम्पू कीवर्ड डालोगे, शैम्पू से महंगा तो उसका कीवर्ड मिलता है आजकल. मतलब it is expensive, right? So focus on what you are good at. Yeah, I was good in branding and sales. Sameer was good in products. So we focus on our energies on what we knew best. And by the time our brand was built, now we moved into D2C, our own website. And that is only 2 years back we moved into our own website. But now I don't need to spend like all these new guys, because all these other guys, because they built it there, but they have spent so much money on customer acquisition. Most of them are on losses. कौन से प्रॉफिटेबल ब्रांड है? तो हमारे साथ क्या था, हमारा ब्रांड बन गया. जब हमेशा बोलता हूँ, खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से पूछो, बता तेरी रजा क्या है. तो अपना ब्रांड स्ट्रॉन्ग कर. अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गया ना अपना ब्रांड, तो वो ब्रांड कहीं भी बेच सकते हो ना. अगर ब्रांड स्ट्रॉन्ग है, जस्ट अ चैनल ऑफ सेलिंग. So if you want to do it, I'm not saying it's bad to start it on your own website. You can do that, but then you'll have to focus on everything else also. Technology, product, branding. I focused on 2 things and let Amazon focus on customer acquisition and distribution. And now I've built a brand on Flipkart and Amazon. Now I'm selling on e-commerce, my own website. I'm selling on offline. I'm selling wherever there is opportunity, man.
We'll take the next question. Please quickly, if we can pass on the mic to the gentleman.
Yeah, hi, Aman sir, this is Utsav. We are essentially a vertically integrated textile D2C brand. Aman sir, हम लोग 40 crores ARR कर रहे हैं अभी, and हम completely bootstrapped हैं. My question is, do we really need investors to reach there? Because there's kind of a race going on right now. I want to understand, to actually reach that pinnacle, can we actually go completely bootstrapped all the way along?
यार मेरा ना सबसे बड़ा कॉम्पिटिटर जो इंडिया में है ना, वो बड़ा आजकल ना हीरो बन रहा है। ओ वी आर बूटस्ट्रैप्ड एंड वी हैव डन एक्स बिजनेस। अरे भाई उसका बिजनेस, उसका ना 4 साल से बिजनेस प्लान मेरे पास है, उसे फंडिंग नहीं मिली तो वो अपने आप को बूटस्ट्रैप कहता है। जरूरी नहीं होता कि बूटस्ट्रैप होना इज़ अ पाप। बूटस्ट्रैप इज समटाइम्स एन is not an opportunity. Sometimes it's a necessity. Sometimes you don't get investments, right? And if you don't get investments, you boast yourself. वो क्या है मार्केटिंग में क्या होता है ना, आपको बेचना है अपने आप को भाई, कैसे भी बेचो, करेक्ट। तो आपको अगर आपको फंडिंग नहीं बोलो आई लव, सो यू कैन से आई लव बूटस्ट्रैप्ड एंड आई वांट टू स्टे बूटस्ट्रैप। ट्राई करते रहो फंडिंग की, जब मिल जाए तो बोल देना कि वी गॉट फंडिंग, बट जब तक नहीं मिल रही तो ट्राई करते रहो। और फंडिंग तब लो जब जरूरत हो, फालतू में मत लो। मतलब मैं अभी यही बता रहा था अपने जो मेरे इन्वेस्टर्स है, शार्क टैंक इन्वेस्टिंग कंपनीज, मत लो भाई फंडिंग। मैं तो वहाँ पे भी कहता हूँ equity is the most expensive bet source of money. So I would suggest anybody to run a bootstrap company till as much as they can. But if you need investment, some industries will not even survive if you don't get money. So if you have those, it depends on the industry, it depends on what you want to do. And it depends on what you want in life यार, it is just that. अगर आपका बिजनेस प्लान अच्छा है और इन्वेस्टर्स को अच्छा लगा तो फंड कर देंगे, अच्छा नहीं है तो आप ट्राई करते रहो।
So we'll take last 2 questions. One is to
Hi
you,
Aman,
sir.
this is Ashwini from Denison. My simple question is that I have been grown on marketplaces like you have been grown on Amazon, I have been grown on Myntra for last 3 years. What basically I have been recently to scale up, I started thinking of raising funds and all, but everyone is sidelined just because of the reason that we have been on marketplaces and we are not making a much difference in it. And they are like thinking like the D2C brands are the brands which are on their websites running, they have a better brand building and all. Right? We wanted to raise funds for the same. But like this is how to convince basically investors for this thing.
That's again a good question, and I would relate to that because I was also told the same things that you will, as I said before, हमें भी बहुत बोला गया था कि तुम इसकी तरह you will die the telecom guys, you are in a commoditized market. Then we started this at you are ऑडियो में क्या उखाड़ लोगे, फिर अमेज़ॉन में और फ्लिपकार्ट में बेचते हो, ऑनलाइन ब्रांड हो। अरे भाई, बट अगर तुम खुद कर रहे हो और तुझे अपने ऊपर बिलीफ है, इफ़ यू गाइज बिलीव इन योर सेल्फ, यू फाउंडिंग टीम, देन बी ऑन द पाथ एंड इन्वेस्टर्स विल कम. If you are doing well, no, again, then investors will come to you. You don't need to go to them. I also went to them. They did not come to me. I used to write them on LinkedIn, on जहाँ फोरम पे मिल जाएं, आते जाते पकड़ लेता था उन्हें, तो मैं भी बहुत पीछे भागता था, लेकिन अब वो मेरे पीछे भागते हैं। तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि वो अपने बिजनेस मॉडल पे डिपेंड करता है, राइट? अगर इफ़ यू आर डूइंग वेल, they will come to you. So you don't need to run after them after a point. And you should understand maybe there is a flaw in your business model that they are not able to invest you, because investment is there. Right now the period is not good for the next few months. It's going to be a tough market. But if they are not investing you in a D2C brand today, that's a problem in you, because all investors today want some D2C play in their portfolio also, and investors have the biggest FOMO ever in their life. So if you want investment and you're not getting it, something might be wrong in either them or you. And if it is wrong in them, then wait for a while until you prove them wrong, or otherwise solve what is wrong in you.
Yes. Thank you.
One last question. Yeah.
Hello, Aman sir.
She doesn't want me to talk.
Hello, sir. My name is Sunny. I'm the founder of the Superlex Appliances. We are the manufacturer of home and kitchen appliances products like fans, heaters. Now we are selling on the Amazon from the last 6 or 1 years ago. We just started selling on Amazon. In the beginning, we just got 50 to 100 orders per day. Now we have 20 plus orders, 100 plus orders per day. But we are stuck on these orders from the last 6 months. हम इससे आगे ग्रो ही नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. 20 something around 200 orders per day. इसके ऊपर से can you explain me कि 200 से 2000 orders per day कैसे ला सकते हैं from marketplaces?
You don't answer. I'm an agency. I can help actually.
That is a वो कैसे वो कौन सी picture बताना? That is a good question, but your question hurt me. I don't know, buddy. That's I'll have to go deeper into your industry or your business model. That why you're not getting the orders. I don't know. I can't answer that for you right now. It's something maybe you do a market, something you market better, or maybe your product is not good, or maybe I don't know what you do, man. It's gonna take time to understand what you do and how you are. Come to Shark Tank. We'll talk for 1.5 hours. We have a lot of time there. Like.
One final question. One last question. Who has it?
Hi, Aman. Aman, I am a failed entrepreneur. I am in this industry since last 6 years. I want to understand how should I keep me motivated to fight this battle. I just can't figure it out.
No, that's it's the best question of the day.
Thank you.
No, so I love the new generation of you guys. They're not scared. People like me, I don't. I'm also your generation, maybe younger. But there was one generation which used to be very shy of failing. Right? If you look at what Vinita says, what I said, I have been a big failure, bro. In 2 jobs, I was asked to leave the company. Right? My ventures failed. Also till I'm 40, right? And till 38, I had no money in my bank. And Pratik is a dear friend of mine. He knows that I had no money in my bank, and now at 40, I'm investing in companies. I'm a shark. I have invested in like close to 50 companies, and my net worth you can just Google and see. So do not worry on failures, man. Rejections should not disappoint you. I was rejected by my wife also 4 times. So I am like that. So for me, rejections has built me, man. Rejections के बिना तो मज़ा ही नहीं आता लाइफ में. अगर रिजेक्ट ना करो तो अगर सबकी लाइफ बहुत अच्छी चल रही है तो सब अच्छा है, राइट? अगर आप रिजेक्ट होते हो तो आप दुनिया सीख जाते हो बॉस. आपसे अच्छी कंपनी कोई नहीं चला सकता आज की डेट में.
नहीं, फेल होने से डर नहीं लगता. गुस्सा इस बात का आता है कि मेंटरशिप नहीं मिल रही.
हाँ, मेंटरशिप क्यों मिलेगी? मेंटरशिप कौन देगा? आज तू मेरे को बता.
जब फाइट कर रहा
अभी मैं यहाँ से बाहर जाऊंगा ना, 200 लोग मुझे बोलेंगे मेंटर बनने को. मैं नहीं बन सकता भाई. टाइम किसके पास है मेंटर बनने का? तो मैं सच बता रहा हूँ कि तुम्हारे को इन चीज़ के लिए ना बेस्ट चीज़ होती है यूट्यूब, फेसबुक. बहुत सारे अच्छे लोग हैं. लिंक्डइन पे जो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं, आप ग्लोबल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स देखो. मैंने खुद शार्क टैंक वर्ल्ड वाइड देखा हुआ है. मतलब मेरे सारे सीजन्स मैंने देखे हैं. मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछ लो कौन से सीजन में कौन से इन्वेस्टर को कहाँ मिला था, मुझे सब पता है. मैंने देखा हुआ है. मैं उनसे इन्फ्लुएंस होता था यार. मैंने कितनी यूट्यूब में लोगों के बारे में पढ़ा हुआ है. आप खुद, आपको मेंटर्स की ज़रूरत क्यों है? नहीं मिल रहा मेंटर तो जो ये थोड़ी है कि मेंटर नहीं मिल रहा उसके लिए मेंटल हो जाओगे. भाई मेंटर मिल जाएगा. आज मतलब खुद को ही संभालना पड़ता है बॉस. ये तो फैमिली सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. फैमिली में कोई बंदा ढूंढ लो जो आपकी हेल्प कर दे. बट ऐसे मेंटर ढूंढने जाओगे भाई साहब, आप मेंटर बनोगे. मेंटर कौन बनेगा? अच्छा बोलो मेंटल बोलेंगे भाई, कोई नहीं बनेगा ऐसे मेंटर. मेंटर तुझे मतलब यू विल हैव टू, दिस लाइक अ साइकोलॉजी से क्लास बन गई है ये. बट you'll have to manage it yourself or take help from a professional psychiatrist or somebody. But to answer the question of failing, there's not a problem on failing. And if you can admit the fact that you've not done well, is the best thing you have done to yourself. And is the and admitting that you need help is something which I love about people like you who can who are ready to, who understand what they need. So read about it, talk to people, and there will be some people who will resonate with you and maybe try to be that mentor to you. So I don't know whether I've answered that question. It's a good question for all of us, that you should not fear failing. fail, but जो गिर के खड़े होने में मज़ा आता है ना, उसका किसी चीज़ में नहीं आता. So keep trying, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aman. It's been wonderful talking to you, and a huge, huge round of applause for him. We have a small memento we'd like to present to you.
Can we have the memento from the hostess on stage for Mr. Aman, please?